I'd like to very briefly give you some ideas of what Qualtrics can do for your alumni programme and share what we've learned as the leading platform for alumni and donor engagement in almost every major US university, including Stanford, Harvard, Yale, and Dartmouth, as well as several major global charities. We also work with 90% of top UK universities, so it's very likely that we facilitate some of your colleagues in their research also. What we found is that several alumni teams are really proficient at tracking descriptive metrics and KPIs, things like event attendance, donor retention, and the number of donors. While all of this is extremely important, it isn't predictive. And given everything we know about alumni engagement, for example, the number of alumni donating to their alma mater has actually halved since 1990. It is clear that there's an experience gap. That is, alumni teams don't fully understand the needs and expectations of their alumni. They don't always know what needs to be done or what needs to be tweaked to drive engagement. Our key focus, rather than simply measuring data readily available to us, is actually understanding and impacting key drivers of fundraising, donor retention, and volunteering. While 70% of institutions recognise the importance of engagement, 19% have no means of tracking the efficacy of their engagement efforts. On top of this, GDPR legislation puts an added onus on teams to confer with their alumni how their data is processed. But what if alumni teams could discover why their alumni aren't renewing or subscribing, what forms of outreach and engagement they value the most, and where the resources are best spent? Most alumni teams we speak to feel they don't have the resources, but the solution can deliver huge return on investment. In fact, thousands of pounds can be saved in reduced donor attrition or increased philanthropy from less engaged alumni, all at minimal effort and expense. So let's look at a typical alumni journey. When an alum registers on your website, you can now understand their motivation, their expectations, their experience over time, and their likelihood of recommending and making a donation. We allow you to check in at every touchpoint with hardly any effort at all. Each step along the way is automatically triggered through Qualtrics integration with your alumni management system, be it Razor's Edge, Salesforce, or another. Now at every touchpoint on their journey, your alumni can receive professional branded communication that is incredibly accessible and engaging. Be it embedded in your emails, your magazine, at an event, or it can even be taken on your website. This not only helps you develop a relationship with each individual alumnus, but it also allows you to understand and track engagement across the board. If donors or alumni are at risk or give negative feedback, this is probably something you'll want to react to instantly. Through email, Slack, or Salesforce, you can alert the appropriate person or team automatically by triggering tickets if certain conditions are met. This way, key feedback is not ignored or wasted. Every opportunity to retain and develop alumni relations is seized. Most important is that you have data that is clear and actionable and links to your key metrics. Dashboards are role-based, so each member of your team or stakeholder has an overview of the metrics that are most important to them, be they the Director of Engagement or Faculty Dean. Also, they can easily compare and benchmark and track trends, and also drill down on key drivers to see where engagement or investment is most needed. On the back end, all information you collect at each touchpoint automatically populates rich profiles of your alumni, and here we've linked department and age to NPS and reasons for donation. We can even map key responses to your Salesforce or your Razor's Edge, allowing you to segment easily and plan targeted campaigns. But what about user experience? We can ensure alumni cannot be spammed by respecting opt-outs and also allowing you to set contact frequency limits, so you can control how often alumni receive surveys or emails. And also, with sophisticated branching logic and piped text, we can make sure that surveys are highly personalised and relevant for each alumnus. So whether it's donor journeys or ad hoc surveys on your website or at events, Qualtrics is not just a powerful way for you to collect data and take action, but we're also one of the most secure online survey providers. And this is why we're trusted by the largest universities, non-for-profits, and charities globally. We'd love to have a conversation to see if we can also add value to your alumni engagement efforts, and at the very least, share best practices from what we're seeing globally.